Hello, wine students. Welcome to University Wine, the channel where we dive deep into the world of wine. I'm your host, Professor Weisse. Today, we're exploring the traditional method of making sparkling wine. The traditional method, or méthode traditionnelle, is the gold standard for bottle fermentation, used for the legend of Champagne as well as Cava. It not only adds CO2, but extra flavors too. Start with the base wine in a bottle, add yeast and sugar, then seal it with a crown cap for a tight seal. The second fermentation inside the bottle dissolves CO2 into that still wine for fine bubbles and a little extra alcohol. After the fermentation ends, because the sugars have been consumed, the yeast dies without more food, and this dead yeast, the lees, settle and autolyze over months or years. This imparts those toasty, biscuity notes in the champagne. Longer contact with the lees means even more intensity. Next comes riddling, which is the way to remove the dead yeast from the bottle. The bottles are tilted slowly from horizontal to vertical, sliding lees into the neck. This was traditionally done by hand, but now often with gyro pallets for efficiency. With the yeast now having slid to the neck of the bottle comes disgorgement. Winemakers freeze the neck, remove the crown cap, and the pressure from inside the bottle ejects that icy lees plug. This is immediately and quickly followed by dosage, where winemakers top up with wine and sugar mix, liqueur de expedition, to set the sweetness level of the wine, which is needed because all of the sugars in the second fermentation are no longer present as they were converted to alcohol and the bubbles. Brut is dry with tiny sugar added at the end. Demi-sec is medium sweet with much more sugar added at the end, but no yeast is included, so this sugar is going to remain in the bottle. Either way, high acid keeps it crisp. Finally, the bottle is quickly resealed with thick cork and a wire cage to make sure that cork stays in the bottle, ready to celebrate. Now let's talk about champagne specifically. The Champagne AOC, which is in northern France, is generally a blend of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Meunier. The cool climate gives the high acidity and low alcohol base. Winemakers create non-vintage blends for consistency year after year. Affordable bottles of champagne age 12 months on the lees. These wines are generally dry with apple notes and light Autolysis flavors. Premium champagnes use riper grapes and have longer aging, providing more complex green apple flavors, lemon, and toasted bread. And there are also vintage champagnes from exceptional years with pronounced fruit, autolysis, nuts, and honey from the bottle aging. Cava from Spain is also made in the traditional method, mostly made in Catalonia, primarily with local grapes such as Macabeo, though Chardonnay and Pinot Noir can also be used. Warmer climate means they need an early harvest to retain that acidity, also keeping flavors light with apple and pear. Shorter lees aging is required, giving the possibility of a more subtle autolysis. But some do age longer for more developed autolytic flavors. Beyond these two areas, traditional method sparkling wine is made in South Africa in their method Clap Classique, using the grapes heavily grown in that region, Chenin Blanc. California, Australia, New Zealand, in their coolest regions are able to use Chardonnay and Pinot Noir like they do in Champagne, though still made with riper fruit than Champagne. These can be intense, complex, and with a long finish. Tasmania sparklers can rival Champagne in blind tastings. Due to extra sunlight, these New World sparkling wines can have fruitier profiles, including possibly some tropical hints. There you have it, class. The traditional method sparkling wines and examples of them. Next time we look at the tank method of making sparkling wines. Like and subscribe. Cheers. Until next time.